Hey there, this is Andrew bringing you another Keyforge deck opening. This is going to be an Awakenings Edition Grim Reminders deck, so it'll have the cool border. The new set is really fun. Don't steal my QR code. It's a really fun set, and still figuring it out somewhat. I mean, I've played it enough now to have some real insights, I think, but still not all the way there. So still definitely a journey of discovery. This is Gord x Agneinda, the cheater. Wow, I don't want to cheat. And that's a cool little flower petal pattern, you might call it. I don't know what that is. Down the middle of this squid-looking thing. Okay, we got Equidon bugs, we've got Mars, and we've got Untamed. In the bugs, I am hoping for some pretty fast stuff to be able to, generate and steal amber, get some card efficiency. Yeah, there should be some good stuff in there. In Mars, some crazy combos maybe, and then in Untamed, also some rush. So overall, between these three houses, if we get the right combos lined up, we could have a really fast deck, really fast rush style deck. But it'll depend. It'll depend on what exactly we open. So let's get into it. All right, we'll start with the bugs. We've got Aquari's Fulcrum. It's an artifact with an amber. This one got enhanced with a damage. It's an item, and it says at the end of each player's turn, they may gain 1 amber. If they do, their opponent draws cards. This is fun, classic Equidon stuff. It's just speeding the game up. Very cool. Market Fluctuation. All right, this is a really fun card. It's an action with an amber. When you play it, each haunted player draws 3 cards. Each player that's not haunted discards 3 random cards from their hand. Yeah, this is cool. So the way this works, you can end up in some weird situations. So the kind of ideal situation is that you're haunted and your opponent's not, which means you will draw 3 cards and they will discard 3 cards, period. That's real good. If you can accomplish that, you're very happy. It's also possible that you draw 3 cards and then that pulls you out of being haunted, and then you discard 3, or that you do that to your opponent. So this also can be good for if your opponent's trying to stay haunted. You can do quite a lot to push them away from that, because you're making them draw 3, and then if they actually have to draw back, turn their deck around, then they actually end up discarding cards too. So it ends up being a pretty good deal. This is a fun card. Now, you can play it sometimes when it hurts you and helps your opponent. You don't want that, but if you play it right, it's very good. All right, De-Escalation. It's an action. When you play it, you destroy each creature, and then your opponent archives the top 3 cards of their deck. So that's kind of the opposite of Change. By the way, this has a draw pip on it. Very interesting. That's a pretty steep cost to let your opponent archive the top 3 cards of their deck. So probably you'd rather avoid playing this, but in the right circumstance, maybe that saves the game for you, right? That if wiping the board keeps you from losing, you want to do it. And then and then there are times when maybe it won't matter as much that your opponent gets those archives, or maybe even they don't have a deck, so they don't have anything to archive. Okay, Estate Sale is an action. When you play it, you purge a non-creature card from your discard pile. If you do, gain 2 amber. This is fun. I think this is really nice because you're thinning the deck and you're gaining amber. It's a cool mechanism. All right, Gemcoat Vendor, 6 power, Getruki Merchant with action, steal 1, deal 1 damage to Gemcoat Vendor. Great. It's a really nice creature. Slow but good. Hospitality. This one, I have just not found the right time for this to matter yet, but it's an action with an amber. And when you play it, you choose an enemy creature and a friendly creature, and until the end of the turn, the friendly creature's power is equal to the enemy creature's power. So now I guess maybe a weird thing here would be like, could you boost your Siphon's power up beyond 6, get it to 6 damage when it dies? Would it be your opponent's turn or your turn? I need to ask a judge that. I think it would actually be their turn at that point when it dies, but need to find out. But other than that, really, I just haven't found this to be that useful. So, okay. Incarnation Pod is an artifact with an amber. It's an item, and when you action it, you choose a card in any discard pile and put it on the bottom of its owner's deck. It's a really good card. A little slow, but that effect can really shape your deck into something awesome. If you scrap it, you purge the bottom card from each player's deck. So that can be interesting too. Just depends on the situation. But I think both effects are pretty good. Iron Heidi, I think this is kind of a boring card. It's not bad though. I mean, it's a serious board presence. But Iron Heidi is a 5-power human, and while you're haunted, Iron Heidi and each of her neighbors gets +2 armor. I like how she's like a human, but she's adopted some of the bug stuff. Very cool and very kind of Stormlight looking. A second Iron Heidi. And then Old Tinker is a 3-power Gatruki Artisan with Elusive. After he reaps, you discard a card from your hand and draw a card. It's a really nice effect. Got a second one of those. And then Tutor Benrillo is weird. 4-power Gatrukia. If you play him, you discard up to 3 cards, and then your opponent draws a card. If you scrap him, each player draws a card. It is tough because the scrap effect really tends to be better for your opponent than for you. You have like by default, a 1 in 3 chance of drawing something you can use that turn, while your opponent gets to draw before choosing what house they go. That's a bummer, but sometimes it works out, and you have to do one of these things. You don't want to just hold him, so very interesting. When you play him, the discard up to 3 cards can be really good, even though your opponent draws a card. So yeah, just depends on the situation, but an interesting card either way. All right, that's it for the bugs. How do we do? We got 4 Amber Pips. That's fine. Probably a little heavy on the creatures for me, but some of these cards are really interesting, so I'm not sad. Okay, let's go to Mars. Plan 10 is an artifact and plan. At the end of each player's turn, you return a card from under Plan 10 to its owner's hand. If there are no cards under Plan 10, you destroy it. When you play it, you put each non-Mars creature face up under Plan 10. So interesting in that it really is like a wipe the board of everything but Mars, but then it's going to come back slowly. This effect that's at the end of each player's turn, they choose, or whoever's turn it is chooses. So on your turn, you'll choose a card to return. On your opponent's turn, they'll choose a card to return. So probably, in general, you're going to be returning your own cards that benefit you. Your opponent's going to be returning their own cards that benefit them. If it's all your opponent's cards under here, that could be a little weird because you're each returning a card to their hand. So you probably end up choosing cards that they don't match, don't set them up for a power turn, I guess. So very interesting though. And then we have Jammer Pack. It's an upgrade with an amber, and it gives a creature your opponent's keys cost +2. That's very nice. We've got Key Abduction. Awesome. Key Abduction is an action with an amber. This is the combo piece. We'll see what else we get. Return each Mars creature to its owner's hand. Then you may forge a key at +9 current cost, reduced by 1 for each card in your hand. Very interesting with cards like the Fulcrum and Plan 10, because those actually could be helping increase how many cards you have in your hand beyond 6. But there are other things that could help too. We've got Distant Void Prober, 4-power Scientist and Martian. This one got a discard pip. After it reaps, if you're haunted, your opponent's keys cost +3 during their next turn, or you can scrap him to make an enemy creature capture 1 from its own side. Classic Mars shenanigans. Don't believe your eyes. This is a really good card. Action. This one got a damage pip on it. If you are haunted, a creature captures 2 from its own side. Otherwise, a creature captures 1. You do not want to play this if actually no, you can play this if only you have creatures on the board, unless you're haunted. So it's a little complicated, right? If you are haunted, you pick a creature and it captures 2 from its own side. Obviously, in that case, you want to pick your opponent's creature, or you're better off just discarding this. But if you're in the situation where you're not haunted, a creature captures 1. Well, it's going to actually, the default behavior is a creature captures from its opponent. So even if you pick your opponent's creature with that effect, it's going to capture from you then. So if you pick your own, it'll just capture from the opponent. So it's a much less powerful effect. Obviously, you want to be haunted when you play this. Okay, we've got a second one. Very nice. It is super powerful when you're haunted, though. All right, Dr. Xyloxiflex is a 2-power scientist and Martian with elusive. After he reaps, you play a Mars creature from your discard pile and ready it. Now, have we? Oh, we've seen the one. We've seen Void Prober. Okay. We'll see what else we get. Grabber Jammer. This is very nice. 4-power robot with 1 armor. Says your opponent's keys cost +1, and after he fights or reaps, you capture an amber. That's great. He's a really good creature. We've got Mars first. That's excellent. This is an action with an amber. When you play it, you ready and use a friendly Mars creature. That's very nice to have with the Dr. Frex because, yeah, obviously this is like which level your opponent must kill. So if you get the Mars first in hand when you play it, it's very nice. Plague Wind is an action. When you play it, it says until the end of the turn, each non-Mars creature gets -3 power. It's a nice potential one-sided board wipe. Obviously, if your opponent is running Mars, it's a little tough. Doesn't help against them, but can help a lot. Shrink Ray Technician is a 3-power scientist Martian mutant with after reap, choose an enemy creature, and it gets +2 power until the end of the turn, or -2 power until the end of the turn. If you scrap it, you choose the most powerful enemy creature, and until the end of the turn, it's considered to have 1 power and 0 armor. I think I hadn't realized it says most powerful, so I hope I haven't cheated too much with that. But yeah, it does pick the most powerful. Terrible Teammates is an action with an amber. It enhances with a draw and a discard, and when you play it, you may discard a non-Mars creature. Nice little bit of hand filtering there and helps set up the haunted. So nothing. Okay, I will say, like, I love the 2 Don't Believe Your Eyes. We didn't get any crazy combo stuff with the key abduction, so that's kind of a little bit of a bummer there. You could stuff your hand a little bit, like if you have the Frex ready, you can bring stuff back, play it, and that could help feed the key abduction. But but yeah, just not a crazy combo with that, which is, it's okay. Key abduction can still be good. We just didn't get the crazy combo. And I think, ideally, when you see Dr. Frex, you'd really like to get some Ironics Rebels too, and we didn't see that. So not the insane Mars combos, but still some very good cards. All right, let's go to Untamed. We'll start with Halicor, who's a 4-power beast back from Coda, who says each friendly flank creature gains Skirmish. All right, yeah, it's fine. Still great art, too. Kongafant is a 5-power beast that gives each creature, after reap, destroy this creature. I still don't love Kongafant. Narogabus is a 3-power human who, while enraged, gains Skirmish and Splash Attack 3, and after you play him or after he reaps, you enrage him. Yeah, it's kind of a fun... He's a werewolf, right? So that's kind of cool. And he can do some serious damage, but then he can reap. And he comes with the Werewolf Curse, which is an upgrade with an amber that gives a creature Splash Attack 3, and after fight, archive Werewolf Curse. And when you play it, you enrage the creature. And I like that because it actually adds a little amber generation if you do it right. And you can actually turn it into, if you have the gnarl on the board, you use him, put this back on, and you get to he becomes like a fighting machine again, but you're getting an amber every time because you're archiving that. So that's kind of cool. Amberfly is a 2-power insect with elusive and skirmish. After it fights, you capture one. It captures one, and after you reap with it, you move 1 amber from it to your pool. That's so slow. I have not seen this matter much, but it is a cool idea. We've got the Blernian Hydra, who's a 5-power beast with 3 damage enhancements to give out. Didn't get any on the card this time, and while it's damaged, it gains splash attack X, where X is the amount of damage on it. We've got a Flumph with a damage pip. Flumph is a 3-power cat and beast with skirmish. After it fights, you give a beast 2+1 power counters. That can be kind of cool. What other beasts did we get? The Hydra is a beast. Kongafan's a beast. Halicor's a beast. Cool. Did we get any beasts in Equidon? Probably not. Yeah, I'd be a little surprised. Okay. So all the beasts are in Untamed. Grave Pixie. This is a 1-power fairy with an amber pip. When it's destroyed, if you're haunted, you archive it. That's pretty fun. Ooh, Reclaimed by Nature. Gives us some artifact control. It's an action with an amber. When you play it, you purge an artifact and resolve its bonus icons as if you had played it. Very nice. Got 2 of those. Theoretically, I think if you were to purge your own Plan 9, or Plan 10 rather, the cards would just be would just go to discard piles. So that's actually kind of cool. It's a 2-turn combo, but with 2 Reclaimed by Natures, we probably could pull it off fairly reliably. And it actually removes a lot of the downside of Plan 10. So yeah, that's great. Warfaline is a 3-power cat and beast. When you play it or after you fight, you shuffle the top 5 cards of a discard pile into their owner's deck. I haven't seen this matter too much, but you could theoretically like pull Reclaimed by Nature back to draw again later if you thought that was necessary. Get Mars First back, etc. So there's some cool stuff you could do at the right time, and if you don't like what you're going to pull back, then you probably just want to do it to your opponent's discard pile. And last up, we have Witch of the Eye, who's a 3-power human witch. With After Reap, return a card from your discard pile to your hand. Yeah, that's cool. You could get back Reclaimed. You could get back Werewolf Curse, I guess. Get back your Mars First. Get back your Don't Believe Your Eyes. So there are some cool options there. Yeah, all right. This one seems okay. Oh, wow, market fluctuation. So good at the right time. So this one seems okay. I'll be interested to try it out and see how it does. I don't think it's necessarily top tier. There's not enough that's just like immediate, level 10 threat. But there is some good stuff, so should be fun. And yeah, I love the border. Cool. All right, thanks for watching. That was Gord X Agneinda, the cheater. Hope you enjoyed. I certainly enjoyed making the video, and I hope that you'll get out there and forge some keys.